Reports here at TopVelocity.net. Pitching analysis here, Landon. Compare him up with Stephen Lacey. Coming out of leg lift, you're going to see Landon collapsing his drive leg force vector. So you can see this shin getting inside this hip. You can see Stephen keeping his more externally rotated. So there's more counter rotation in the femur, or external rotation, or holding torsion as he moves forward. And this is like more of a counter rotation of the hips. He is leaning back pretty aggressively, but he's doing a really good job of counter rotating the hips, sitting into the drive hip, delaying rotation of the hips as he falls forward and down at the same rate. So Landon's not as kind of rotated. So his hips are actually starting to come around. You can see the front foot is starting to open. Therefore, the back femur is starting to internally rotate. And you see the force vector going down early. So that just puts the femur, which is the only leg on the ground, or that back leg, in a position to not really have a lot of stability for in a peak of energy, an explosion of energy. So as Landon goes in the front foot, you can see an attempt to push off or drive the hip, not as dynamic as Lacey here. You can see when Lacey opens, back leg internally rotates, big push, even the plates moving back into rotation. So he gets a good combo of back femur rotation with back leg ground force production, or we call triple extension. The ankle, knee, and hip flexor. You can see extension here from Landon, but we also see a more open trunk position. We also know that there isn't the same amount of momentum peaking as we see here with Stephen. You can even see the camera blurring out. So a lot more dynamic in how he's peaking momentum, and also how he's applying rotation through those peaks of ground forces. So what we're seeing here is Stephen with more peak momentum, more torsion or coiling of all these rotational segments of the body. So when he unloads the trunk, you see a big release of energy through the trunk. When Landon unloads the trunk, you don't see a big release of energy. And a good indication of that is the elbow is now leading once the trunk squares up. If it was a big release of energy, the elbow would be pulling back, the arm would be pulling back like we see here with Stephen. So definitely not the same amount of energy rotationally, linearly moving up the body as Stephen here. And it's just really going back to the drawing board. If we put ourselves in a position where we start to open early and collapse the back leg, we're going to reduce the amount of energy production, force production. We're going to push into front foot, which is going to coil the upper body, which is going to unload the upper body and accelerate all the forces to the ball. So Landon really needs to work on the foundation of his lower half, how to peak those forces. He needs to also get more dynamic, bigger, stronger, faster, hit all of our elite metrics across the board when it comes to athleticism. So when he does get in the right positions, he can unleash all that power, and he'll see a huge jump in velocity.